Okay, hello, Assalamualaikum. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to MFPC TeaTalks, where we discuss various topics on focusing on financial planning. I'm Najiha, your host for today. So on today's episode, we are excited to have Mr. Sani Ayub, our Vice President, External Relations and Publicity of Malaysian Financial Planning Council. So today, Mr. Sani is going to share his expertise on how we can build a wall around our wealth, or mainly focusing on asset protection. So, Assalamualaikum, Mr. Sani. How are you?
Waalaikumsalam. Thank
Have you
you.
had your lunch?
Just that. Thank you.
Alright, okay, Mr. Sani, for ice breaking sessions lah. So maybe you can introduce yourself to our audience today. A little bit about yourself.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and thank you so much. And thank you all for being with us this afternoon. Let me start off by telling you a little bit about myself. I started this career, or I came into this industry way back in 1985. Okay, but prior to that, I was already actually working in the bank in 1982. So I'm taking a long way now, So just to share with you, because sometimes the journey is very interesting that I take it through that make me last until where it is now. 1985, I came in as a life insurance agent. That's how I started my career in the life insurance. Then from there, that's where I grew from as an agent and grow in agency building. Then after that, I embarked into development of agency people. Then that's where through that time, because I started last time to share with you, I started as a part-time. There's a beauty about this business. Those days you start as a part-time, So then I can do it as a part-time. Then 1988 actually I went into full-time. So that's where I began as my career in the life insurance. Then I move on into developing people in the industry. Then that's it. Then I get into the corporate business again and build up some development and also heading the Takaful business as well prior to this. So this is where I had, and I had a little time also into developing bank insurance as well. I was based in Hong Kong for 5 years prior to this. So this is where I was. But the beauty is where the journey is very challenging through that period of my lifespan in the industry.
Okay, thank you. But if I may ask, I mean, it's been more than 20-30 years you have been in this industry, kan? So what makes you decide? I mean, the first step to be in this financial industry. What is the things that move you to be in the financial industry?
What exactly made me coming into the financial industry at that point of time is very much into looking for something that I wanted to do into the business, what kind of business I wanted to do. So then I was introduced this industry, then start seeing, of course in the beginning life insurance was never attracted to me then, never see, but until I came in, then I saw how noble it is about this business. Then I took that up, and that's where my journey of this continues during that time. And basically what exactly, initially I don't see much about this business, but what exactly attracts me and make me stay, two things. When I started doing the business, when I came in as a part-time, as you know, during the first 6-7 months of my journey in the industry, I earned that kind of income that I earned from this industry compared to my full-time job at that point in time was actually more. So that gave me I think this is something that interesting for me to pursue and see what more in this business. That's the first one. But the second part that made me actually realize and stay and feeling good about this business is when I hand over or deliver a death claim check to a family. So that was the moment that I realized actually my job is so important. because I am there at the time when the family in needs of things to continue their family life. So that is where made me stay, and that's what I saw that this is worth to do. Then from there on, then I said, in order for me to stay, I got to continue with some other things that I need to have for myself. And through that process, that's where I got my CHFC, I got my CLU, so I got my Sharia, RFP, and that kind of thing. So through that process, that is where the learning curve start to begin again in my history of my journey. Yeah, so that's what make it happen. Yeah.
So the learning process never stops.
Yeah,
Right?
true,
Everything
true.
is a new learning
Correct,
for
right.
us. Okay, so I mean, every industries, every job that we had, of course, we are going to face some challenges. So, what are the biggest challenge that you have been facing in this industry, and how are you tackling it?
Yeah, it's very interesting. In this industry, it's the only industry that I think very robust, which means the changes happens most of the time. And in this career, I've seen the key challenges that what exactly I face is the regulations change over time, okay, as involved, and consumers' expectations change, because those days when I go around and talk to people about that time life insurance, you just bought, hey, you have one, this good that. So it's a different perception. But today, consumers' expectations have changed, and the other third one that I saw the changes or the challenges that I face in the industry over these years is the evolution of technology. So this is where what I saw that the challenges that what I faced, and I was fortunate because the steps that I took in order to overcome these challenges was to become adaptation to all these changes, and because of the willingness to take this as a time career, that's why I transformed myself into financial planner, become financial advisor. Then I equip myself with additional knowledge and skill into the field, and keep it going until today.
There's always ups and downs lah during the process.
Yes,
There's always
yes.
the process
Yes.
ups and downs.
Yeah.
So and then what was your first win, or your first maybe biggest achievement that made you confident that you were doing the right thing?
Yeah, that was mentioned just now. Okay,
The death.
That's right. The death,
Yeah.
the death check that I delivered. That was really something that an achievement for me, because the achievement is not about bringing the check. It's an achievement that I feel at that point is I've done something to help another family. So that actually feeling that I have, that realize that I don't care what people say about me, but I know that what I'm doing is actually out there to help people. And what more now, things are different, so of course we add on to that. Yep.
Alright, thank you, Mr. Sani. I think that's give more of our participants, give them motivations to move forward in this career, because I believe many of them, maybe they just started their journeys 1 or 2 years, so they need that support, they need that motivation to make them go to go further in this industry. Okay, so our discussion topic today will be about what is asset protection is really about, and why do we need it. So can you maybe explain to our participant today what it is in a nutshell?
Okay, in a simple word, I could say is, if I can share the slide here though.
The slides, okay. Okay, maybe you can try again.
Okay.
Alright, okay.
Right. So, in a nutshell, I could say, in life, we are talking about everybody accumulate wealth. Everybody, that's what's happening in life. So, In a nutshell, I'm talking about when we talk about asset protection, it's about how you protect those wealth that you have already accumulated from over time, from those potential risks, that the possibility that being exposed wherever you keep. And as you know, life in a journey here, we are always exposed to risks. We always expose ourselves to risks in many ways. So therefore, if we don't do any protection to this asset, then the worry is that the wealth that what we have accumulated might be depleted, might be eroded due to all those potential risks out there. Then at the end of the day, what's going to happen is that, because when people accumulate wealth, there's always a reason, there's always an objective for accumulating them. So if you don't actually protect that wealth, then what's going to happen is that the wealth that what we work so hard for could be eroded and depleted over time, and not meeting into the key objective of why in the first place they are protecting those wealth. So that I could say why we say that most people are accumulating all those wealth for the benefits of the loved ones, for the benefit of themselves. So this could be quite scary if we don't actually find ways how to protect those wealth and what we have accumulated. If I would say, it's just like if I share with you this picture, it's just like what happens if there are rains when you don't have umbrella on top of your family. So your family will get wet. So similarly, if you have wealth, then those wealth are not being protected, then your family will not able to pursue their life what you want them to be. So that is what I could say in a short span of time, what is the asset protection is all about. Yeah.
It is really like our topic title today, a wall around my wealth. So that's why it is important for us to understand more on the protections, and maybe you can tell, I mean it is for all individuals, or maybe there is certain people who need the protections, and how can wealth protection help us as an individuals?
Okay, before I can actually talk that, let me take through a little bit. When you talk about in every individual, everybody has a desire to accumulate wealth. When I say accumulate wealth, means they want to provide something for their family, their loved ones and whatnot. And this wealth could be in many forms, okay? It can be in a cash form, liquid form, it can be a fixed asset form. So these are the wealth that what most people would have accumulated over time. And basically, people who need this are those people who owns it. I give you the example. So those who owns it. So be it big or small, you still have to protect it as progress. So that the reason why to protect it, so that at the end of the day, whatever you set, the objective that what you set to achieve is being achieved. So that's the whole idea of who actually needs to have their assets protected. Those people who accumulate their assets with an objective, with the reasons, for the purpose of something that they need in the future. So that's it, because people don't accumulate asset for today, because today you have, you consume. You get it? Like what you have today, you consume. You don't have to accumulate, so nothing to protect. You just take and spend. So it's more of that becomes the spending trend, how you spend effectively. But when you talk about asset protection, it's something that you want to preserve, so that you are able to use, or someone that you want it to use in the future for a certain purpose. So from financial planning perspective, the purpose there is, we talk about retirement purposes, we talk about the family standard of living, we talk about education purposes. So this could be the key reason that's why people accumulate assets. Then if we don't protect them, then this is what's going to happen. So basically, if you ask me again, let me just answer that the last two words. I say who exactly acquired? Those who actually owns and have a purpose for accumulating those assets. Yep.
So it really does help us as an individuals, and also individuals who have a family in case of emergencies.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then I mean, as a young generation myself, sometimes we sometimes think it's too early for us. Sometimes we have that mindset that it's too early. We're just in our 20s. We don't have that much of wealth. We don't have that much of asset to protect. So why do we really need that, right? So maybe you can share to our participants at what age actually we should start to have our asset protected.
I mean, I agree with you. Many of the youngsters, especially people like you, think that you don't have much assets and whatnot. That's why the word asset protection may not be good to put that up front. So the best part to do is what exactly you want to accomplish in life. That would be more appropriate, because the moment when you realize what you want to accomplish in life, then you're going to do something. When you do something, then you start accumulating. Then when you start accumulating, be it big or small, does not matter, because in the beginning everybody starts small, and then you realize I got to protect this, even though $20, even though 30 ringgit. You want to protect it because you know what is it for. So if you ask me, the young people, I would say it's not that they think they don't have enough asset, because I think they are least concerned at this point. They're least concerned because they have other priorities, I suppose, other priorities. So therefore, I think we should be looking at even young or small. When I say young here, means people who just get into the working environment. In the beginning working environment, many people do not have time to think what exactly they want to accomplish in the future. Number one, because they are single. Number two, they are still with the family, with their parents. So they are not looking forward to build up any families and whatnot. To them, it's too far away. So, but if everybody start thinking, when exactly they start having these thoughts in them, I believe the moment when they start a family, when they start getting married, we start having children, then the realization comes, because they see someone need to move on for the future, and they feel that they are responsible of something. So, but basically, to be honest, even the young ones also have responsibilities without we realizing. The responsibility to their parents. It's not their parents responsible to us, it's the other way around. You know? So responsibility to their parents. So which means this is also something that they want to preserve. What can I do or ensure that my parents are protected? Protected of what? Because when we start working, the young ones, we want to protect our parents. What do? Right? We want to make sure that we earn enough. We want to ensure that we start to accumulate so that we can give back to the family members. We want, some of us, maybe if possible, we want to bring our family, our parents, beyond where they were before. So these are the ultimate. So key word here is that we need to set an objective. So we must have a plan, we must have an objective, what we want. So if be it small, for example, I want to provide the best for my parents. So that alone will lead a person to start to accumulate wealth. Wealth is not necessarily becomes millions and whatnot, but you start to accumulate wealth. And you want to give the best. And then the concern comes, when you are doing that, the concern comes when? What happened if not enough? What happened if I don't have that time to provide that to them? That is where the issue here.
They start to feel scared.
Correct. Then they start to feel that, then they start to search, then they start to look for, what shall I do? So this is normally we do. So this is what I think the changes in the market, and I think I believe young ones now is not like those days where we do not have much information in the market, but today almost information at their fingertips. So if a lot of people can actually start to expose this in those areas, and so that those information reach the young ones, then they start to feel and say, hey, this is what missing in my life. Yeah.
Right. And hence that's the reason why we at MFPC ourselves we started to have our TikTok account, because I think it is more easier for us to get through to the young generations, because each social medias are used by different generations. So I think by having this kind of social medias and having this kind of session that we can share to of course our members, our beloved members, and also publics as well, so it gives them awareness about all of this financial planning. Okay, and Mr. Sani, okay, so currently nowadays we heard a lot about scammers. We heard a lot about people losing their asset, losing their wealth to others. Maybe they didn't see it coming 2-3 years ago, or maybe 10 years ago they didn't see it coming. So from your point of view, how do we build a wall around our wealth in order to secure from predators?
I would say first foremost, okay, scammers are scammers. They're always there. There are a lot of ways that they're coming in to anybody out there. But most importantly, these people come in for a reason. They just pick up. I mean, I don't know how they manage to get people to get into this and whatnot, or to be scammed by them. But mainly, this is where those people who accumulate wealth, what happened, the pressure comes when you start to accumulate and you have an objective. I'm picking up from the same example just now. You accumulate wealth for the purpose of education, for example, for the purpose of retirement, for example. And sometimes you feel that it's too, not fast enough. Worry that you may not achieve that kind of fund to meet up that. So therefore, whatever you have accumulated today, when someone comes and trigger you and say, hey, you can double it up for you. We can give you 3 times what you are getting today. And that actually motivates the person into this without thinking that could be a scam. So that could be a reason. So therefore, this is why in financial planning, our practice is that when we construct a financial plan, you stick to the plan. So you don't get motivated with anything that come out there. That's the first part. So therefore, anybody who accumulate whatever they accumulate wealth, first protection is you yourself to remember you must design a plan. So that plan that you have is really designed in a way in achieving your objective. So therefore, you won't be motivated with all this, induced by all these
predators. They call it as a predators.
Correct. That is if these predators come and approach us. But the other part is sometimes, because now you talk about cyber security in a way, we lose money while we're sleeping, for example. That's what quite scary in a way. But of course, this is where in cyber you got to make sure that all your digital devices are being well kept. Digital devices are being protected well with real password, that kind of thing. So those are the things that you got to protect. Yeah, that's how I see it in a way here. So do not get motivated with
the nice, fancy, loving words.
Exactly.
I mean sometimes they have this kind of words that scare others. Maybe they have debt from the creditors companies. So I mean, for us as me as an individual, I would feel scared if people say that I have this certain debts, I have to settle this, and all of the links pop up in my phone. So it's good to understand this more.
But that can, predators comes in 2 different ways. One is to scare you, So that is where you get panic and whatnot. Then you just release whatever they ask for, and that's one part. But the other part that I always concern is you accumulate already so much, but you get involved into another scam where people give you higher returns, is what I say. So So this is where people get attracted or people get motivated because of higher returns, and that's what I saw quite a number. To be honest, I mean, I bumped into a couple of friends. Come and tell me, say, I'm waiting for these people to provide me this fund. I say, all these are scammers out there. They try to entice, make you excited of what they can provide if you invest with them and whatnot. So this is where a lot of people lost their what accumulated, because they go and transfer what they accumulated into where they shouldn't be, and then end up nothing comes back, and that becomes another impact to their life and their family members. Yeah.
Alright. So I think that's give us one more thing, perspective to look at, especially in order to build a wall to have our asset protected.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean we're talking about how to protect it. It's okay, have a drink first, no worries.
Yeah.
So we were talking about what is asset protection, who need it, and how. But what are the key strategies or actions that we need to do in order to protect our wealth from creditors, litigators, or simply by other individuals?
Yeah. Okay, so basically, in order for us to know what to protect on our assets, we also need to establish what are the risks that we are going to face. So when we talk about this, so basically in an individual, I can divide that into three categories. Number one is their personal risk. Second is on their property risk, and third becomes liability risk. So these are the risks that are exposed by individuals that has the potential, if we not properly protect it, exposed to litigations, exposed to creditors and whatnot. So that's what we feel. So take for example, when we talk about personal risk, for example, if an individual very much exercise a lot of their assets and liabilities, or sometimes they have so much liabilities at the end of the day while they're building their assets, and what can happen is, if talking about the risk of premature death, for example. So in the event of premature death, the properties that they own may be subject to be by the creditors or subject to be by the lenders. Okay, so therefore the family will left nothing behind. And what happens if that individual has a business per se? So many business owners are also exposed to some other liabilities as well. So if anything happens, then the creditors will come after those assets that what they have accumulated, where your original intention to accumulate those assets is for your family members.
Correct.
So this is one of those things. So therefore, one of the strategies to look at is this is one of the angles where they're being exposed on that, and similarly on the liability as well. In terms of lawsuits and whatnot, liability is in the sense that because of certain negligence of your doings, you are subject to be sued by others. So this could be individuals' behavior, like the word like suka fitnah orang, that kind of thing. So this is the thoughts, right? So you're subject to all this, and that could be, if you're not protected, and if any lawsuit comes in, if any claims arises derived from that, and that will eat up all your wealth. So therefore, when you talk about to protect this, the strategy is try to get the tools that can help this. So basically, when you talk about individual life just now, in order to protect your assets, okay, so that your family still have, so you got to build up what they call it insurance policy. Should have an insurance policy to protect. These are some of the products available, or takaful product to support the loss in the event of loss due to this risk, premature risk. Then at least your family are protected, right? You still have a home to stay, because all those loans that you have taken, all those things that what you have is being protected by those tools. So those are the strategies that you may want to use, be it on lawsuit, legal litigations, whatnot. So basically, these are the things. Yeah.
So and for individuals who have maybe a rough understanding of asset protection, who they need to reach out in order to have their asset protected.
Okay, so therefore, to get this wealth or asset protection, to seek out or how to go about doing it, my best advice is for them to go out there and seek for those financial advisors. Okay, financial advisors who are able to provide them advice and to give them guidance and to establish what are the risks they expose. And then at the end of the day, they be able to help the person to identify whether what are we going to do with this risk. Then they will provide, they also can provide what is the best strategy to ensure that all these risks that are exposed, it should be manageable at the end of the day. So this is what they do. So those advisors can help individuals to achieve those things. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sani.
Yeah.
So it's okay, you can have a drink
Yeah,
first.
thanks.
For our beloved dearest participants, just a gentle reminder, don't forget to fill the evaluation form at the end of the session. So you have to wait calmly, enjoy the session. So if you have any questions, you can ask at the Q&A section at the chat in the platform. So you can ask us anything regarding the our topic today. This is the time to ask maybe what are the challenges, or maybe there's some tips from Mr. Sani. Okay, so we move to next questions. So I believe in any financial planning, there are always some challenges, whether it be how you want to start your financial planning, how you want to have your asset protected, wealth protected. So what do you think of the challenges faced by individuals, and maybe how they can tackle them?
Yeah, I suppose the key challenges that faced by individuals is what is it that to be protected, and how to go about doing to protect them, and at what value to protect them. So this is three pertinent things that always become a challenge to an individual to do. If not, so therefore, first foremost, how to overcome these challenges, how to do this. That's what I said just now. It's better to go to the professionals, because they are being trained and well versed into providing these kind of services. Maybe give you a quick grab about what financial planning is in a way for an individual. Financial planning would provide why you need to accumulate those funds, where you're going to put those funds to ensure that you achieve your objective, and how to ensure to protect those things from eroding. So they will also help to protect those assets that what you purchase. So this is what we do. Then they'll be able to prioritize that for you, and at the same time make sure that your loss can be manageable. So at the end of the day, because in life the risk is there. For example, let's say assuming we accumulate a lot of cash, okay, for education, for example, for education or for retirement, for that matter. So, but when we start doing that, and our life is exposed to other things, other risks. Take for example, we fall sick. We are hospitalized, and hospital bills sometimes can be very expensive, depending on what kind of sickness that you are in. And if you only have create your wealth, and just for that purpose, and you forgot about other risks, then when that happens, then you will eat up whatever you have to pay off that, isn't it? Yeah. So therefore, you are exposed to this. So when then you dilute and deplete your original intent of keeping it. So this is where the financial planners will help you to see where are the gaps, where are gap that you need to get yourself protected so that it does not deplete from what you intend. Yeah, that's what financial planner don't go and tell you and you should do this. No, the financial planner will check with you first what exactly you want in life. Right? And financial planner will come in and say, okay, so I need to know more why you need to do all those things. Then let me help you to ensure that you achieve what you want. So financial planner will come in and say, okay, in order to achieve that, you're going to face this risk, you're going to face this risk, you're going to face this. Because if you don't take care of this risk, you'll not achieve that. So simple. The first risk is you want to create an education fund for your child, which is going to happen 20 years down the road, for example. So you need 300,000 at that point of time. So your child needs 300,000 when she or she reaches that 20 years old. So the risk is, if you have premature death, what happened to the child's fund? Not enough, because you have not reached there, right? So what happened then? So this is the risk that the financial planner will advise you and say, okay, because of that risk, you need to have some kind of protection plan. You need to have some kind of insurance plan or takaful plan, for that matter. So this is what you need to do. And talking about takaful, again, takaful requires, according to Sharia, requires to mitigate, to look at this, to do this. I think, have you heard about people says, dulu this is what they call it, kena ikat unta dulu sebelum bertawakal. So that's what it means. So this is what you got to prepare first before you give to God. So similarly in this case, yeah.
I understand. So sometimes, because I believe we kind of like what we call that as terlepas pandang the important part, the important part of our life. Sometimes we focus on earning the money, we focus on working so hard to earn that amount, but somehow in a blink of an eye we can lose it. Right.
So not careful,
So it is good to understand, for us to understand more about this. And so maybe you can share to us also what is the tips on keeping our assets and our personal assets, our wealth, or maybe for business owners to protect their wealth safe and sound.
Well, to keep these people's wealth safe and sound, my tips would be like this. I've said, number one, especially in the environment of business owners, to make sure that whatever they accumulate, they must have a protection shield for their loved ones, so that they are not overexposed, so that all their assets that what they have, or they are able to separate between their business assets and personal assets. So this could be an area that many of these business owners have to do it effectively on that part, to protect that. And many of the times when you talk about business owners, many of the times I would say business owners also exposed in the sense that challenges when it comes to business continuation of the business. If something would have happened in the business itself, the business sometimes collapse together. So therefore, when it collapse together, that will deter them from getting more revenue, income from that. So this could have an impact. So basically, also got to see how to protect not only their assets, but also how to protect their businesses as well. For you talking about business owners, okay? And secondly, they also got to find ways, because in a business works or business prosper because of the employees. You see, because of the employees, business prosper because of employees. If there's no employees, how can business prosper? Correct? So therefore, it should be equally concerned as well to look or to protect employees, because employees is also an asset for a business owner. So how to make sure that it's being protected, or how to select among those employees that to be protected, so that will not have an impact to their business as well. So these are the two areas we talk about business tips, relationship. Yeah.
Right. So during this session, it has crossed to my mind that when you said just now, we need to reach out to professionals to ask for a financial advisor to advise our financial protection or our fundings and whatnot. But nowadays there are a lot of individuals who claim themselves as a professional financial advisor, but they don't really have the certifications, the qualifications, but then they tend to use the social medias to attract by just saying beautiful words, by just attract by just using their words. So maybe you can have advice for our dearest participants and our participants who watch these videos, how to protect themselves, how to identify a financial advisor.
Alright. Okay, so I think that's a good point, because I think this is something that is good for me to also highlight, especially to public at large. A financial advisor, number one, they need to have qualifications. Second, for them to be called financial advisor, they have to be certified and registered, licensed. They need to be licensed, and all these people are licensed with Bank Negara. So therefore, to license with Bank Negara, you must have the right qualifications. So this is what the market should be aware of, and many of times when you see all those things, make sure that this person is certified and is licensed. And to check whether they are certified or licensed, you can always go to these two bodies, Bank Negara itself, where you check their license, and on certifications, whether qualifications, you can also check with MFPC whether this person has the kind of qualifications or not. So these are the awareness that I think people should make known. Yeah.
Alright. So I have like a few more questions.
Oh, okay.
we still have some time, so I have a few more questions. So I mean, in financial industries, whether it be takaful, whether it be life insurance or medical insurance, there are always some myth. So what are the common myths about wealth protection that you heard of?
I would say the common myth that people say, okay, it's only the rich one who needs it. Yeah, that's who is the common myth. The common myth. But in reality, no. In reality, is asset protection is a strategy that benefit everybody. Benefit everybody. As what I mentioned much earlier, it's not because you have millions. That's why you need to do some protection to your health. No. Some people use the word Melayu sedap. I use the word, people say, I the ciput. Why need to protect, for example. I mean, this is a common, right? So what I'm trying to say here is that no, it's not only for the people who are rich or filthy rich, not people who have a lot of assets, high value of properties or more, but it's about for everyone who have an objective in their life in what they want to achieve for their families, and that is very subjective. So those people who have that desire need those wealth that what they have accumulated to be protected. That's what I say. Yep.
So I understand. So because nowadays we always heard from the young generations, or like you said, the myth of only rich people need to have it. But the reality is everyone need to have their financial planning. Everyone need to have their asset protected. Everyone need to have understanding on investment planning for their own future, for their own benefits. So you have been in this industry for more than 30 years. So you started as a part-time, and then now you are in this industry. You are, I can call you as an expertise in this industry. So maybe what are the one lesson in your journey that has taught you that something that very important, especially in wealth protection, that maybe you think that everyone should learn at some point in their life?
I think if you ask for my personal experience, regret that I should have started early. started early, which means that awareness about financial planning much more earlier. Because at the beginning of my journey in this industry was very much towards insurance per se. So it's insurance is one of those, but not in a broader perspective. Because financial planning only came very much later. Then realized that I think if I would given the chance again, I would advise that the financial planning should be learned or advocate or to be aware by many of us right at the beginning of our career journey. Because when beginning of a career journey actually is a beginning of a new life, and many people take it easy at that point of time, which I think it happens to me at that point of time. I don't know, maybe young people now also thinking the same thing, because they say they're just new into the career journey. There are a lot of things to to enjoy, a lot of things to do, so they forget about this thing. By the time they realize, a little bit too late. It's either too late because they spend a lot of time not thinking about it, and you're gonna have a very short time to accumulate. Because financial planning is about, again, at the end of the day, we teach about time value of money. The longer time that you have to accumulate becomes more easier for you, just like insurance as well, or whatever protection tools that you want to use to protect your wealth as well. Because if you protect it at a late age, you may have to pay quite high for that protection fee, they call it, that protection fee, compared to where you are young. So that could be a area that I think if people are aware right from the beginning. For example, if one of the items can be put, whoever signed a employment contract, last item in the contract should be put, you should seek your own personal financial advisor, to start off with your life journey. I think if that can be advocate or educate, I believe the society will have a better perspective to what financial planning is.
Right, because maybe some of us, are excited to have their first job, and then once they are not financially stable yet, they started to buy a car. They add more liability than more asset to their life. So they did not have that proper planning for their future. So I think that's one of the reasons that young generations are tend to have like a lot. They take a longer time to have a financial stability.
I think that's also where you say priority was different at that point of time, especially when you're young in the beginning, when you just started to work. Your priority, because your priority is actually being motivated by desire, right? Desire. Now it's time for me to have this without realizing. But many people fail to see coming into a career, a new career, it's a life in a new career. It's actually a journey you're just beginning, where you got to start protection from the day one. You must be aware of that. Then you know what it is.
What it is. Right. Okay, thank you so much, Mrs. Sani. So we have few questions. So what questions should I ask a wealth management advisor?
Okay.
For the first time, for people who don't really familiar with the financial advisors. So what should they ask first?
Okay, for a person when they engage a financial, what questions to ask? Is that everything? Okay. If you talking about the customer, if you want to ask financial advisor, what question they will ask? They will ask and say, you want to know whether they are qualified, whether to know whether are they certified. You may want to check on their validation, on that part. Then that would be a first start of questions. Then that's it, and I think the rest of it will be the other way around.
So what about the vice versa, like how a financial advisor should approach individuals, or how maybe sometimes different people have different perspectives. So when it comes to maybe like you say insurance agents or takaful agents, financial advisors, so when it comes to these individuals that need to approach publics, so publics tend to have this mindset like, oh no, I'm not rich, I don't think this is suitable for me. So what some advice that you can give to our agents to maybe put some motivations in them?
In fact, to me, I would say, especially even financial advisors, when you approach all your clients or your potential clients, or the word that we commonly use is our prospects. When we go and meet up with them, number one, you really have to really introduce yourself and tell yourself who you are, how good you are. Okay, what are your qualifications? What are your expertise are? Because the first element for a person to agree to engage you or to start to speak to you, they must have an element of trust. So you need to get yourself being trust the person. Trust here means many people got confused here. Trust means I don't have to build that trust because I know you already. Knowing already is a different level of trust. But trust that I'm talking about here is professional trust. They knowing you already, but they do not know how good you are in this. So that's why you still have to have and start sharing that part from customer. Then it has to, the trust must be established. Then after trust established, then you go to the next step and start, if that is agreeable, then you start asking the clients, what exactly do they have anything that they want to achieve in life? That's it. What exactly specifically they want to achieve in life in regards to their retirement, in regards to their education, or in regards to their career maybe. So these are the questions that you got to start off with your client. So basically, as a financial advisor, my tips to them is don't go out there and try to tell what people should do. You should go around there and start asking people what do they want so that you're able to establish what they need. So this is again fighting between want and need. People want something, you advisors provide the need. Okay, for example, you want to go to Penang, I provide you with car, I provide you with plane, I provide you with train, for example. This is what I do, this is what you need, because you want to go to Penang. You see? But I don't tell you, you should go to Penang. Then you will ask me back and say, why should I go to Penang? I want to go to Kota Baru.
That's how the argument starts, the miscommunication starts.
Correct.
And that's how the perspective, the negative perspective.
And I think this is fundamental, very important, because especially the advisors, they thought they are qualified. We are qualified, yes, which we are able to go and tell people what to do. And people have their ego and whatnot, so that's where the clash is. So we shouldn't be going there and tell people what to do. We should tell people how good we are. Then tell people, okay, in order for me to, I need to know where you want to go. Right? So that's what my job is. So that's how I think the tips that if you ask me, as an advisor should approach in that manner. Yeah.
Okay. So ada few more. We have like around 15 minutes more. So there's some questions.
Okay.
Can you give some examples of past responsibilities you took as a private wealth manager?
Responsibility of?
Can you give some example of past responsibilities that you took as a wealth manager?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Responsibility took in the past is I would say responsibility I took in the past on wealth manager. First, of course, I provide advising to the wealth managers some advice on the skill, on how to approach, as what mentioned, and also how to help them to do the analysis, how to analyze the situations of a client, and eventually come up with the right recommendations. So these are the three stages that we do in providing advisory or advisors to some of these wealth managers. There's a responsibility that I took. to build their skill in that part, and at the same time to help them to analyze and see what is the best recommendation for the specific client. That's what we'll do in the past.
The responsibilities. Huh?
Yeah.
So it seems like a small, but it's actually a huge responsibilities, is it? As a wealth man, I mean, you need to advise people, so it's quite a huge responsibilities.
It is not only, you take it with full responsibility. You take it with commitment, of course, and ensure that what you speak to them, how you do the work, really it's a concern to you as well. So it's just like if losing it, just like you also feel the pain. So normally we'll take that into that very seriously in a sense. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe what are the 4 pillars of wealth creations?
Okay. So when you talk about wealth creations, okay, when we see on the wealth creations, first foremost is how you create those wealth. In the word here, the word create wealth, you accumulate wealth, that kind of thing. But when you talk about wealth creation, I talk about immediate wealth creation. Okay, immediate wealth creation here, it falls back into insurance or travel. That's it. So insurance or travel is a product where you have an immediate, some people call it immediate estate creation. Because that is the only product where you pay $1, you get 1,000 if anything happens to you. So that's it. That becomes a immediate estate in that sense.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I will do. So therefore, as in wealth creations, you must have a right fundamental. Of course, the product is there already. So normally we use that kind of product as a tool to do that. Okay, and the purpose of using that part is because of the estate planning. Because many of the times when you want to leave behind some estate, so the best way to create an immediate estate or immediate asset, because the normal way of accumulating will take time to accumulate certain amount that you require. So therefore, estate creations could be used by using insurance takaful as a tool in life. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So maybe your journey, it's still what we call that as a lifelong journey. Once you decided it, it will always be with you.
Yeah.
So of course you will practice it yourself and your families. And then what about some advice for those who want to know and understand more on asset protections?
Okay. Yeah, good. I think those who have more want to know more about asset protection, my advice is especially for those advisors out there, individual advisors, talk about insurance, takaful, or even wasiat agents, or even property agents. If they want to know more how this, my advice to them is maybe they should go to register themselves and learn through RFP. Go to MFPC and then enroll themselves to RFP, because in RFP, not only on asset protections that will share, but again elements of what are the risks exposed, and talking about estate planning, and even on the Sharia perspective as well. We also, because RFP in MFPC also provide that Sharia perspective as well, because in Islam on estate planning is entirely different again, and you're talking about risk exposure in Islam is different again. So these are all thoughts in a Sharia financial planning that what we have in the MFPC. So for those who would like to embark or know more and understand more about how to go about on this, and I believe with this additional knowledge that they will acquire from this RFP will help them where they are now. Okay, help them where they are now in terms of how they meet up with the customers moving forward, and how they see the future in the industry, because this will give them a better awareness, better outlook, perspective of what the business or what the potential customers should face in order to avoid all these things coming.
Okay, so one more questions from the participants. How does customer service relate to finance and wealth management?
How does customer service? Okay, finance and management is two separate things, but how do you provide customer service in relation to finance and wealth management, for example? And customer service here, twofold the way I see it. One is the financial advisors themselves, how they provide their services to their customers. Services here means how comprehensive they provide and how much, which section, or in, for example, financial service comes in like first come up with a financial plan and help the customers to execute those plans. Second, monitor those plans. So those could be the services that what financial advisors has. The other customer service here is when you provide this service to the customers have to get themselves certain products will be provided by the product operators out there. So services from that organization, or we call it operators, also has an element to contribute to this service as well.
Alright, understand. Okay, to all the participants, I hope you are doing okay. It is a long, quite almost 1 hour with us, so it's a lot of new knowledge, new maybe some motivations given by Encik Sani. So do you have any one last questions before we end our session soon? You may ask at the live chat, or you may ask at the Q&A section. No problem, we are still here, no worries. Okay, so few years ago, I mean, every year you learn new things, and every year there will be challenges, there will be some obstacles, there will be some life lessons. So what one piece of advice that you have given yourself maybe 20-30 years ago, and what one piece of advice that you bring every day in your life to keep going, to move forward in this industry?
The advice that I give is make sure that we take care of our family first, no matter what. Because money cannot buy everything. Anything happen, the family comes first. But at the same time, when you build your wealth, it has to go hand in hand with the family again. So whatever you want to do, be transparent. Have a right communications with your family, especially your loved ones, or even to your children. I mean, you got to be transparent. I have this much, I want to do this much, this is what I have. So let's work according to that, or let's eat within this means, something like that. Because many of times in the past, I was brought up in a family I consider as a little bit conservative, where parents those days don't actually tell you, they suffer so much, but they don't tell you they're suffering. I mean, of course, we also don't want to tell our children that we are suffering, but at least one way to train our children, the way as we eat, based on what we accumulate, we tell them what we expect to provide, what is it going to be, and this is how what we have, so that everybody in the family understand, so that there is no misunderstanding. Especially nowadays, those days mungkin not so bad, nowadays even worse, because the children are exposed with so many informations at their fingertips, so they make a lot of comparisons at the end of the day. So once they understand where we are, then I think we work that together, then we won't have to be there. Because even though how much wealth that we have been sending at home, I think we end up with nothing that makes us happy at the end of the day. Yep.
So the some of the families they don't talk about it very much, is it? So it's good to actually have a good communication. I mean, when you say that try to talk to your family, let your family understand your situations. Actually, there's been some, I mean, on social media, there's been some individuals who shared that this is what they can provide to their family, and there are some people start to compare, like, oh, I have 2 kids but I can provide better, or I have 2 kids but I cannot provide as much as you. So it somehow gave a negative impact on the individual itself.
In fact, if I would have a chance to start again, which I didn't do before, I could have started with a simple expenses control, not control, expenses record, and budget for the family. For example, I would introduce to a family member every day, okay, whatever you spend today, take your bill, place it, see how much you spend, so that we start the financial planning early. Now, the financial planning is about, you also run how you run the family as well, not only about the future, but how you run the family, which means that within the budget, within our what we're supposed to spend for, so that, and everybody in the family is aware. So if I would do that, I would think that's what I would do, making my children and say, okay, you spend 20 ringgit today on whatever, I need the receipt.
I need to understand.
I need the record. So when I have the record, then make everybody aware, then they realize what I spent today actually no need, actually isn't it? So this is sometimes end up overspent, and this is what I see in today's world. When people start to come back to working life, they tend to spend more than what is actually there. Yep.
Correct. I mean, during the COVID times, 2 years ago, I think we can see how Malaysians shifted from overbuying to really understand that what they need and what they want. So I think although it's like a blessing in disguise. COVID is a bad thing, but then you learn something on how to manage your financial. And it has come across to my mind that when it comes to asset protection, sometimes it's not outsiders who we need to protect from. Sometimes it come inside of the family. Maybe for a cash, for a car, family started to stop talking to each other. Families become enemy with each other. So what do you think of it? Like how I mean, it's really general, but sometimes these issues really caught people attention. That even sometimes I read that what the agents, what people in the financial industry have shared, because of money, families started to crash. So what do you think of it?
It is very true. Mainly because they're financially involved, or what very specific is money involved, can lead to all those situations. So therefore, that is when we are around. You're talking about COVID, we are still around. What happened? We are not around anymore. So, and don't think so that will be worse if you don't get all this to be protected. So that is where protection of those wealth not only comes on the consumption, not only comes on the liability, not only comes on the risk that what you see now, but also at the end is on the distribution. So distribution of the wealth, so need to be protected. So if not, you allow that, and that's what's going to happen. When the money is there, A does not talk to B, B does not agree, so become problem. So that is where we must have these tools to help to protect those distribution part. So basically, there are products which is automatically, you talk about takaful. Under takaful, under the IFSA, is automatically the product can be hibah. So it's a gift straight away. So therefore, if there is those element tools, so a person have 3 kids, you buy 3 policies, takaful policies, and hibah to all 3. You see? So instead of you say, okay, I have this house, cost me 10 million for 3 of you. What gonna happen?
So maybe some of them want to sell, some of them have the memories.
Correct. And some of them start to negotiate. I think you will reach already, you don't need anymore, I'm the youngest one, I should get more, So that becomes a negotiation table. So, but if you have these tools placed to protect the distribution piece, then you don't dilute this and you don't end up family conflicts and whatnot eventually.
So I think some of people understands that this new era, this this new in the modern world, hibah is really important, is it?
Yeah.
It is important. I mean, some of the people said that I have nothing to give to my family. I'm not rich, so I don't think hibah. I couldn't afford the hibah, but I believe that we pay small amount every month depending on our own financial stability. So it is good to make people understand how important hibah is.
Yeah, because hibah is a concept. It is a gift. Okay, it's a gift. It protected from any other creditor's claim. So that's it. So and then it gives specifically to the beneficiary. So that's what the concept is. And why people cannot hibah their property today? Because property tak boleh bayar lagi. You see that? So it's not yours yet. And even if if you hibah to your kid, there's another fear, there's another risk. What happens if your kid chase you out from the house? You see, because you're not there yet. But if you're using these tools, this hibah is already created at the point of death. So that's it. So therefore, the distribution is being done equally to your children. Yeah.
So sometimes the difference between hibah and wills also got some
yes.
difference.
Yes, of course. A will, of course, you write up a will and you assign and that kind of thing. But for Muslim, obviously, you know very well that Muslim can will only 1/3 of that, but that cannot be given to the beneficiary. So now when you write this hibah, is something which is a gift to that person specifically. And the takaful under the act is really indicated, stated that it is hibah. Okay, the product itself, the feature itself is really hibah to the person that you give to.
Alright. Okay, I guess we are almost at the end of our session today. So, one last question, Mr. Sani. So, what piece of mind or advice that you can give to our audience today to start their asset protection planning, to have their wealth protected?
Okay. My advice to audience out there, okay, first and foremost, be aware that whatever you accumulate, that is something that exposed to. So therefore, identify those risks and find ways how to manage those risks, and look for right advice. Okay, right advice, so that people the professionals who are good in this are able to provide you right advice to ensure that the things that you accumulated, you preserve, are able to be consumed by your desired loved ones, that what you always wish to be. So that would be my advice.
And then maybe a little bit of advice to our members who have been a financial advisor. Maybe some words from you. I mean, you are experienced, you have been through a lot. So some of our members, maybe they only started their journey.
Okay. So for financial advisors, especially the new ones, as a profession of financial advisors, this is a good thing. But we got to remember, this business is still have to be outreach. That means you have to reach out to people. You have to reach out to people. In other words, you got to see more people and reach out. What is your profession? What exactly you do? We just can't wait for people to come and start seek for your advice. So therefore, we still have to do those activities, which means that, we got to tell people, be confident enough to build that level of trust with people. So my advice is reach out to those people that you wanted to, share with them your expertise, okay, what you're expert in, what you can do, right, so that you can have a better, engagement with them, and so that you are able to exercise your role as financial advisor effectively.
Because I do agree with you, because I think it's when it comes to in financial advisors, two-way communication is much more important.
Correct.
Because sometimes it's when you try to create awareness, or you try to help others, to help publics, sometimes they tend to ignore. So they need a lot of strength to go to stay in this industry for many more years. But now I think we are in 2023, so technologies have paved their ways. So I think it will be a great advantage for financial advisors, for financial industries players to use this platform to create the awareness, to maybe spread the understanding of financial planning, right? Okay, so I guess that's the last question for Mr. Sani. It's been almost one hour plus. It have nice to have you here.
Thank you.
And that brings us to the end of this episode. So for our dearest participants, they don't forget to update your evaluation forms, because if they did not finish the evaluation form, they didn't get the CPD. So don't forget that one, okay? And then thank you again to Mr. Sani Ayub for joining us today, and thank you to our dearest participants for giving us their time. I know it is a working hours, so they spend some time for us, so I very much appreciate that. And we hope our session today was beneficial to each one of us. I learned a lot from you actually, so it gave me a new perspective as a young generation, how I need to start to have my asset protected. So that is enjoy our show. Thank you everyone for today. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, TikTok and Instagram for more financial content. So and we have one more upcoming event this Saturday, which is Malaysian Financial Planning Day. So you can visit our website, you can register. If you cannot come physically, you can join our program virtually. So there will be one-to-one sessions with a few financial planners companies. So it will be a great opportunities for everyone to have their financial planning. So anyways, and be sure to come back on 23rd October for a discussion of trust and will, which should I use for estate planning. And with that, I see you in the next one, inshallah. Thank you everyone for your time. I see you next Monday. Don't forget our date, our special date at 2 p.m. Okay, thank you everyone. Have a good day.
Okay, thank you.
Bye bye.